Here's your report.
Oh, thanks, Jane. I wish I could hire someone just like you.
Try LinkedIn Hiring Pro. It's more than a job board. It's like the recruiter you always wished you had. Hiring Pro uses real-time insights to match your role to LinkedIn's unique network of professionals and delivers a short list of best fit candidates. You'll spend less time sorting applicants and more time talking to the right people.
Let's do it. You're irreplaceable, Jane, but another you would be great.
Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. Then today's episode, we are going to be talking about some comments that DDG made about solo Love Island watchers. Because, yeah, I guess according to him, it's gay to watch the show by yourself. And I'm confused because and so TMZ, they posted about this. And that's how you know it's big time. Because when TMZ posted about it, I'm like, okay, this might be one of those things where I'm like, DDG might get canceled behind it and stuff. So, yeah, so I'm like, man, you gotta be careful with what you say on the internet. You don't know who's watching you. And I'm like, yeah, then with TMZ posting about it, and then as big as the Love Island fan base is, like, here's the thing. I don't know nothing about Love Island, but I can recognize when a show is big time. That's a show that's big time. That show trends. People get to talking about it, and I'm confused because I'm like, what is this conversation? I guess with me, when it comes down to stuff like that, I more so want to get educated on the show rather than talking, or somebody get to talk about it, but they feel ashamed talking to me behind or talking to me about the show because they thinking, yeah, based on whatever DDG done said, it's like, oh, it's weird if I watch this show by myself. Who cares if you watch the show by yourself? Like, honestly though, because my thing is this: I ain't gonna break into your house and be like, you watching Love Island by yourself? Like, yeah, imagine, my thing is this: imagine getting robbed, right? And then then the robber is like, hold on, wait a minute. So, they took their ski mask off and they like, there ain't nobody else in this house. And you like, nah, bro, it's just me. And you watching Love Island by yourself. Nah, you weird for that, bro. I'm like, hey man, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't make it like that and stuff. I'm just watching the show, man. He's like, I ain't gonna rob you no more. You ain't even worth it. Here, I'm gonna put your stuff back. That, it's one of those things where I'm like, what's going on in the world? Now, obviously, yeah, he put my stuff back. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, I guess I gotta do this more often. I'm like, hey, it's gonna prevent me from getting robbed. But anyways, but it's like, why does somebody's words have that much of an effect on people to where now the world has to shift and we now have to stop watching Love Island by ourselves because DDG said that it's, I don't know, I feel weird saying the word like gay in the derogatory term, so I'm just gonna say weird up until I start reading the article, because TMZ posted about it and I was gonna read it, so I was like, up until I start reading the article, I'm just gonna say it's weird. So why do I need to listen to DDG about what's weird and what's not weird? I look, my thing is this: I made it 29 years without having to listen to DDG. I think I can make it another 29 years, and however many years I'm on this planet, and not having to listen to him. I'm like, yeah, the thing is this, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, he ain't nobody special, all right? It ain't like he's giving me, cheat codes on how to live a better life. I'm like, the one time where you could have said something inspirational, you used it to tell people you're weird if you watch Love Island by yourself. It's things like that that's confusing. I just don't think that, people should have that much of a say-so in another person's life. I'm like, you worry about your life and I'll worry about mine. How about that? How about we do that? I feel like that might be a good thing to do. But anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and read this TMZ article. So it starts off, because it was like, there's the title, and then it was like, he thinks that it's gay to watch Love Island by yourself. So the article starts off saying, DDG said he's not watching Love Island right now because it's quote unquote gay to do so alone. Then it goes on to say on a stream he was talking, so he can't say, oh, that was AI, it was, nah, you said this on a live stream. You was caught in 4K talking crazy about solo Love Island watchers and stuff. So anyways, and I think it's safe to say that Love Island is a lot bigger than DDG. Hold on for a second. Let me just bring up, see if they have any like socials or anything like, wait, this show started in 2015? I'm so confused because I was like, I thought it said 2019, 2015 was... I'm so confused. I don't know. I don't know when this show started. I thought they said the first episode came out in 2019. Now I'm seeing the thing where there's like the show was out in 2015. I don't know. I don't know anymore. But anyway, so there's that. Their Instagram, they might not be on Twitter and things. Yeah, let's just, is this their Instagram? Okay, so then let's open up. Who knows? Maybe he might have more followers. Let's just, oh no, he does have more followers. Okay, so never mind. I was getting ready to, put out some misinformation and things, but I don't know, like maybe people, it might be more on other platforms and stuff, like I guess like talking about like Peacock, because I think that's where that show be coming on and stuff. But yeah, I'm like, I guess if we're going based on how many people, now if we're talking about how many people be watching the show, yeah, I think it's safe to say that there's probably a DDG's been in the business for a long time. I feel like Love Island didn't really start catching a break until maybe a few years ago, so yeah, I don't really remember like hearing about Love Island in like 2015 and 2019. I feel like it wasn't something they started and really start catching my attention until mainly last year. But then yeah, I'm like, maybe it might have been some years before that. I don't know. I'll have to, but that's the thing, I can't remember that far back. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I ain't really started knowing about Love Island until last year, so yeah, I'm like, anything before that, yeah, that's what I'm like, somebody gonna have to bring up some proof of me talking about Love Island back then. But anyways, so they so the article, it reads out on a stream. He was talking about these things, talking about things he misses from being in a relationship, saying, I haven't watched Love Island. You know why? Because I don't have anybody to watch it with. Then it says, the rapper added, I think it's gay to watch Love Island by yourself. If you're an African American, he used a different word, but in case if you listening to this out in public and you don't want the cussing and all that stuff and the explicit words, I got you, all right? But anyways, so there's like, if you're an African American and you're watching Love Island solo, you might be bisexual. I just, okay. I feel like it shouldn't matter, because I feel like that it's still gonna be weird if you're watching the show with people or without people. You're still watching the show. So if we're gonna get technical with it, it don't matter whether you got people there or not. You're being weird for watching that show. But it's like, because I guess like my thing is this: what's the difference? What's I need like I guess like a better explanation on what would be the difference whether you have people there watching it or not watching it. You're still with you and things. You're still watching the show. So that's when I'm more so confused off of. But anyways, then the article continues on, say his reasoning. Then he says that stuff is like soft porn. So my thing is this, again, wouldn't it be weird whether you're watching it with people or not? I don't know. I guess like when it comes down to people being all intimate on camera and stuff, whether I'm watching a movie, TV show, reality, whatever, I'm like, I feel like it's gonna be weird regardless whether you're watching it with people or without people. Because I don't know, like I know there's some people that don't really particularly care for seeing stuff like that. I can understand. I know there's at times like if I'm watching a movie with people and then they start showing people being all intimate and things, I'm like, man, why they gotta show that? I'm like, dang, show something else. I'm like, it's just weird and you be around people and they be showing stuff like that, and it's like, why did they need to, I guess, like, show this scene for a long period of time? I guess they could have showed maybe something leading up to the scene and then it just transitions into something else. But yeah, it'd be at times they were like, movies do get carried away with that type of stuff. So I guess like if they're showing like extended scenes of people being intimate on that show, I'm like, I don't care for that. I don't care for that. But at the same time though, it's like, it is a dating show, so it ain't like they gonna be up there, playing Pokemon and stuff. Like, nah, they gonna be intimate with each other and things. So, but anyways, then the article says, he doubled down saying it's a little bisexual to watch the castmates all kiss each other. It's a dating show, bruh. I shouldn't have to explain, what would be happening on a dating show. I think I looked and seen he's a year younger than me. I'm like, fam, we should know the same things. But I'm like, if you click on a dating show, you gonna see dating activities. You gonna see people kissing and being intimate with each other. That's like if you watch a fighting movie. I'm not going to watch a fighting movie and be like, oh, that's weird watching a fighting movie by yourself and things. Because it's like, you ain't there to watch somebody, with the fighting stuff and things. I'm like, yeah, it's just, it's weird they be doing all that fighting on a fighting show. like I don't know, man. I'm like, yeah, DDG, his philosophy on watching a dating show, and it's like, the thing is this, I guess, because me personally, if I know that this is what my thought process is, I wouldn't watch the show with or without people. I'm like, no, I'm just ain't gonna watch the show all together. But yeah, and it's one of those things. I'm like, yeah, you might have somebody in your life where they all like, they want to watch the show with you and things. And yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that. But I guess, like, with me, it's just, I just think that it doesn't matter. It's like, if you're a fan of the show, be a fan of the show. Don't be like, oh, I'm just only gonna be a fan when I got people in the room with me. But if not that, then it's like, oh nah, bro, I can't be a fan, due to the code. And it's like, fam, you're a content creator. Like, that's the thing. I know people gonna probably be all like, you disrespecting DDG. Fam, you're a content creator. You ain't president of the United States. It's in the most respectful way I can possibly say it. You're a random person, all right? Now, yes, you do have followers. I'm not going to take that away from you, all right? You're an influential person, but you have to understand, the influence that you put into this world can have a bad effect, okay? An extremely bad effect. And I feel like stuff like this, what he's saying, is going to do more harm than good. So, but anyways, then the article reads out, DDG continued to limit that he wants to finish the season and go to the movies, because to finish they have this, like, wait a minute, do they have this show like the final thing, like, play out in the movies or something? Nah, man, I'm like, if the show started on TV, it gotta end on TV. I ain't gonna be traveling to no movie theater no, that would be kind of upsetting. I didn't watch the show, then there's like, oh, in order to watch the final episode, you gotta go to the movies. And I'm like, man, I shouldn't have to do all that. I'm like, people be wanting to watch the show. I'm like, will you let me know when this episode comes out on, whatever streaming platform, and then I'll watch it then. But anyways, I don't know, maybe he's just saying he wants to go to them. I'm like, okay, then go to the movies, bruh. But anyways, then the article says, because to him, those are only things you can do with the girl without being perceived as bi, apparently. So if you even go to the movies, my thing is this, right? Let's say I want to go see if they were coming out with a Need for Speed 2, right? Nobody wants to see this movie, but I want to see this movie. Okay, I'm gonna go see this movie. I have to bring somebody with me, otherwise it's gonna be weird if I'm that's one of those things where I'm like, DDG, I'm like, your thought process, that's weird. I'm like, if we could just talk on that real quick, your thought process is weird, because now it's like there's gonna be a bunch of people out there are like, oh, I can't go to the movies, or I can't watch Love Island, I can't do this, I can't do that unless I'm with somebody. Yeah, no, that's just weird, bro. So, but anyways, then it talks on like his breakup with Halle Bailey and stuff, and so yeah, I'm like, that's yeah, that was a tough time for him. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't think people should change what they do because DDG said that, oh, this is how you gotta live life. He's living his life. That's all that he should be worried about, is how he lives his life, not about how other people live their life. So if people want to watch Love Island by themselves, they're going to watch Love Island by themselves. If they go to the movies by themselves, they're going to go to the movies by themselves. And what other like couple activities and things, because like that's the stuff what trips me out, is that he seems like that type of person where he might not call it a solo date, but some people would refer to it as a solo date. But yeah, let's just say he's all like, oh yeah, I just took my, treated myself, to a dinner and things, and went on a trip and all these other, I did myself a little solo date and stuff. Is that weird too? That I just want to, I'm like, okay, I don't want to, because see, and that's the thing too, when it comes down to like movies and TV shows, I like to focus on whatever that, movie or TV show is. And there's been times where I'm all like, if I'm watching the show and people like, they want to do commentary and be talking, I'm like, hey, look, bruh, I'm watching. I know. I'm like, I just need to be watching this show for myself. But it's like, yeah, there might be some people out there that's like that, where they're all like, I don't want to watch the show with other people because maybe if they're like, okay, I gotta watch the show first and then I'll watch it with you. So I'm like, okay, because if there's somebody that get to talking and stuff throughout the show, I'm like, fam, I ain't trying to be hearing all of that. I'm trying to, like, you done said something now and look, a contestant done got kicked off and I missed the whole thing because you done added some commentary and stuff. So yeah, man, I'm like, it's things like that where I'm like, you know, there could be a million different reasons on why a person watches a show by themselves, you know, but yeah, I feel like that it shouldn't be left up to DDG on, you know, I guess like telling people on what they should do by themselves or with people. You ain't living them people's lives. They living their lives, all right? So it's like, if you want to look at it like that for yourself, then okay. But for other people, it's like, yeah, bruh, it's one of those things. Because I don't watch the show. I don't know too much about Love Island. But if I wanted to get interested in the show, I'm like, oh, let me get in a relationship so I can watch Love Island. Yeah, that's one of those things where I'm like, you know, people's philosophy on life at times, it's just weird, because I'm like, you really be living like that, like for free, like you ain't being paid to say those things, like you just living like that for free. It's weird, man. It's really weird. So, but anyways, yeah, to any and everybody out there that's watching Love Island by themselves, continue watching Love Island by yourselves. Don't pay attention to nothing DDG says, all right? So, but anyways, with that being said, talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.